Hello dear students, after hybridization of the molecules like methane, ethane, acetylene and ethylene, we now proceed for the next topic, that is bond length. Now what is the definition of bond length? So bond length is nothing but it is a critical distance between center of nuclei of two bonded atoms in a molecule. And generally bond length varies or it changes with bond order. Means you can as you know, in hybridization also, in case of ethane, we studied that carbon carbon single bond length is 1.54 angstrom, carbon carbon double bond is 1.34 angstrom, and carbon carbon triple bond is 1.20. So as you can see that as the single bond becomes double bond, bond length decreases, again double bond shift to triple bond, again bond length decreases. So there is a inverse relation, that is if bond order increases the bond length decreases. Now whatever bond length is there, we put a degree which is called as a angstrom. It is a symbol for the bond length, and 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 8 centimeter. Now we say that carbon carbon single bond length is 1.54 angstrom, but it is not exact, because you know that the molecule is always vibrating, and many methods are there to determine the bond length of any molecule or any bond. Like X-ray diffraction method is there, which is applicable for only crystals. Electron diffraction method is there, which is applicable for only gases, and some other spectroscopic methods are also there to determine the bond length of any bond. But all method give some different or slight difference is there in each value, because molecule is vibrating, and therefore whatever the value we are getting or we are writing is a average of all. You can see here some bond lengths are there, that is hydrogen bond length is 0.74, carbon hydrogen bond length is 1.09, carbon carbon single bond length is 1.54, carbon carbon double bond is 1.34, carbon carbon triple bond is 1.20, carbon oxygen single bond is 1.41, carbon single bond nitrogen is 1.47, and carbon nitrogen double bond is 1.28. Now next is bond angle. So bond angle, we can define it as the angle between the direction of two covalent bond. As we can say, s orbital is spherical, so it has no directional preference, but 3 p orbitals have different directions. They are directed at right angles to each other, and depending upon the hybridization, here the role of hybridization is main, because again try to remember that in case of the molecule, that is ethane, sp3 hybridization is there, and in case of sp3 hybridization the bond angle is always 109 degree 28 minute. In case of ethylene, that is it undergoes sp2 hybridization, so in case of sp2 hybridization the bond angle is 120 degree Celsius, not Celsius, 120 degree, and in case of acetylene, that is sp hybridization, the bond angle is 180 degree. So the main role in case of bond angle is of hybridization, which hybridization is taking place in the molecule, that will decide the bond angle. Now again bond angle we can determine or measure by X-ray diffraction, then electron diffraction and other spectroscopic method. And again, due to the continuous atomic vibration in the molecule, the measured bond angle is the average bond angle. In addition to that, bond angle also gives us idea of geometry and shape of the molecule. Why so? Because we know that when sp3 hybridization is there, bond angle is 109 degree 28 minute, and for sp3 hybridization the bond or the geometry of the molecule is tetrahedral. In case of sp2, bond angle is 120, means suppose 120 bond angle is there, then we can say that trigonal geometry of the molecule is there. If the bond angle is 180 degree, then we can surely say that the molecule must be linear. So bond angle also gives us idea about the geometry of the molecule. Now the next one is bond energies, or we also called as bond strength. Now there are two measures of bond strength. One is bond dissociation energy, which is denoted by capital D, and the second one is average bond energy, which is denoted by capital E. Now the first one is bond dissociation energy. One thing I wanted to tell you, that whenever the bond is any new bond is making or forming, then energy always releases, and whenever any bond is breaking, the energy get we have to provide some energy to break that bond. So it is clear, whenever we have to break the bond, we need to provide energy, but whenever the new bond is forming, it releases energy. So again we turn towards our topic, that what is bond dissociation energy. So bond dissociation energy is nothing but it is an energy required to break a particular bond in a gaseous phase. To give, when we break that bond, we get two free radicals, and this is called as a bond dissociation energy, denoted by capital D. You can see that H2 is a molecule in a gaseous state, and after breaking that HH bond, we get two H free radical, and the bond dissociation energy, or the energy required to break this HH hydrogen bond, is 431.4 kilojoule per mole. The bond energy of HH bond in hydrogen molecule is this one, and it is called as a bond dissociation energy. But this bond dissociation energy is a term used for the diatomic molecule only, where only molecule is made up of two atoms, but it is not always possible. So for polyatomic molecule, the energy required to break the individual bond is not same. Hence bond energy in such molecule is defined as average bond energy. So for polyatomic molecule, we use the term average bond energy, that is denoted by capital E now. So what is the definition? The average amount of energy required per mole to break producing free radicals or atoms. For example, in case of methane means CH4. There are 4 bonds, that is 4 CH bonds. The successive bond dissociation energy of CH bond differs, means here in the first reaction you can see that CH4 molecule is there in a gaseous state, and one CH bond breaks here to form CH3, and this CH3 the energy required is particular to break the one bond, we call it as a dissociation energy. Bond dissociation energy required to break first CH bond is 435 kilojoule per mole. Then the second CH bond breaks here in second reaction, means CH3 get converted to CH2 gaseous state, and one H get removed here, and now the energy required to break this bond is 443 kilojoule per mole. Now in the third reaction, third CH bond breaks here, and the energy required to break this bond is 443 kilojoule per mole, and the last bond CH bond breaks in the last reaction, and the energy required to break that bond is 342 kilojoule per mole. So these are the successive bond breaking reaction, and for each bond breaking some energy is required. That particular energy is, we call it as a bond dissociation energy. But For average bond energy, we take an average of all these 4 bond dissociation energy, and it comes to be 416 kilojoule per mole, and it is only for polyatomic molecule. So this is about the bond strength. Okay, thank you.